Hello and welcome to ITV News Westcountry.
Tonight's main stories. The gates have opened, tens of thousands have begun pouring into the Glastonbury Festival.
By a mile and a half trek from the car parking. We've got another wheelbarrow to go yet. So yeah, very tired already.
We talk to the locals under siege for the next 5 days. Do they love it or loathe it?
Also, a woman who relies on her guide dog claims she was thrown out of a Bristol sandwich shop. It's now investigating.
And the Joseph phenomenon comes west, 33 years since the show first hit the stage. Good evening. The wait is finally over for Glastonbury Festival goers. Tens of thousands of people have begun arriving at the site in Somerset. So many had turned up by first thing this morning that organisers decided to open the gates an hour early.
The festival had a year off last year and tickets this year sold out in record time. Our Somerset correspondent David Woodland joined the early arrivals.
10,000 people were waiting at the gates. In response, organisers opened them an hour early at 7 a.m. so the party could begin. Tents outside were banned. Many just slept on the grass in the open overnight.
Welcome to Glastonbury. The campsites aren't far. Keep moving forward, please.
Oxfam volunteers are manning the gates, raising money for their charity. They weren't surprised festival goers were desperate to get in after a 2-year absence.
Why would you not want to be at Glastonbury for the longest time possible? It's expanded over the years just because the demand is there. People want to be at the party for longer. It's wonderful. It's a different world. 45,000 came to the festival by public transport last time. Organisers are hoping their prompting will bring 60,000 by rail and bus and 2,000 by bicycle this time. It's hard work in the heat, getting tents and supplies to the campsites. This man had to drag his trolley after the wheel broke.
How exhausted are you? Very exhausted, yeah. It's been about a mile and a half trek from the car parking. We've got another wheelbarrow to go yet. So yeah, very tired already, as you can see.
I can't see the kitchen sink. What have you brought?
Basically tent, flip-flops and lager and cider really is the main sort of, it's the main way to be. We've got some food, some barbecues and stuff. But
by late morning, the site was filling up. The music proper doesn't start till Friday, but festival goers come early to get the best spots. Concerned parents worried about their offspring falling foul of drink, drugs or sunburn should know there are several hundred yellow T-shirted campsite helpers dotted round the fields. But some people can't be helped.
Well, we do get people come up asking for their tents. They might have been out all night partying. You say, fine, what colour's your tent? Blue. And you look around and there's a sea of blue tents. You just say, well, wait till Tuesday morning and the one that's left in the field is probably yours.
And if you don't fancy roughing it, well, you can have one of these luxury yurts. They've got memory foam mattresses on beds that are off the ground, 3-pin power points, and they cost £1,000 for the 5 days. Not quite the luxury that Mick Jagger's got in his £3,000 yurt, but it'd be good enough for me.
Glastonbury has a reputation for being an easy-going festival, but getting in can be a stressful business. Not everyone was quite this relaxed about it.
But altogether, there will be almost 200,000 people on the Glastonbury site, including ticket holders, staff and volunteers, a population far larger than any other town in Somerset.
So how do those who live nearby all year cope with the sudden huge influx of people? Well, Richard Payne has been finding out.
And so it begins. All roads lead here over the next 5 days, and heavily clogged roads at that. Enough, you'd think, to drive the locals mad. But, on the whole, it doesn't. Herdsman Clive Bond milks his cows in the middle of the site and makes the most of his free entry.
Oh, it can be disruptive here to start with, but once everybody's in, it's fantastic then. We're in every day, enjoying it, and then when we finished, we come out, have a nice bath in a proper bed.
The best of both worlds is something these women also enjoy. Part of a team of volunteers guarding the vicarage 24 hours a day, they're rewarded with a date with Mick Jagger.
Well, we're just going to see the Rolling Stones.
We're going to party.
Rolling Stones. My husband organises some security for the village as well, and I asked if I'd like to go and see the Rolling Stones. He said, well, you'll have to work, so this is why we're here.
With so much drink on site, the local pub actually closes over the weekend, allowing some staff to take advantage of the free ticket given to everyone on Pilton's electoral roll.
Since the bad old days, the Wild West days, things are so much more business-like now that with very few exceptions, there are very few problems. I think the village generally have moved over to being positive about it rather than negative.
The police budget, paid for by the festival, will reach nearly £1.25 million, but the operation is much smaller than times past, given the huge private security presence these days.
The organisers are very careful to liaise with all the residents. They know what to expect. They've been, especially people that have lived here a long time. We work with the organisers to try and make the disruption to the residents as minimal as possible.
Residents who once greeted the festival with a heavy heart, now willing to embrace its temporary role as the mecca of music. Richard Payne, ITV News, Pilton.
Police have arrested 2 men as part of an investigation into the theft of money from collection. Already set up camp is our very own Somerset correspondent, David Woodland, who should be there somewhere. David.
Yes, Bob, it's just amazing to see this place grow hour by hour. There's going to be 170,000 people here. That's a third of the population of Bristol here by tomorrow night, although it feels as if most of them are here already. Now, it can be quite tricky trying to find the perfect place to pitch your tent, so one entrepreneur has come up with what he hopes is the perfect solution. He's got renovated tents from other festivals, he pitches them, you book a place, just turn up, and it's proving very popular.
Well, we saw it on Twitter and we were really worried about finding a space. It gets harder and harder every year, and normally we're over in the dairy fields. We saw it. It sounded too good to be true, but we checked up with the Glastonbury office and then we paid. And then every minute we've been getting here, we've been worried more and more. And then we got here, and yeah, it's amazing.
Now with me is Kieran van den Bosch, whose idea it was. Kieran, did the festival just agree, fine for you to put 50 tents up?
A couple of years ago, I sort of cottoned onto the fact that they were looking for a solution for all the waste tents that were left here by the punters after the event. So I started collecting tents, and I've done a bit of work in recycling anyway. And then I learned to fix them and clean them efficiently. So last year I started.
And it's going to grow and grow. And how much does it cost?
It costs 40 for a single or 70 for a double. So it's to fit the gap, not quite glamping. It's just your standard festival camping, really.
Now, you're local, you've lived just over that hill there. Is this a way of life for you now? You're going to be doing festivals all over the country and growing this business?
Probable, yeah. It's probably. I think I am, yeah.
And the festival wants to be seen to be green, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. So it looks like it's needed.
Kieran, thanks very much indeed.
And David, I understand a few casualties already, and it's only day one. What's been going on?
Yes, I've been to the medical centre, and there was a man there, a chef, who'd sliced a chunk out of his hand. They were dealing with a security guard who had vertigo 20 feet up one of the watchtowers, and sadly I was there not filming but there as a casualty myself. Reversing out of my tent, I managed to pour boiling hot coffee all over my foot. So for years we've been telling people to take care, and then my own clumsiness has caused some rather unsightly blisters.
Poor old David. Thanks very much, David Woodland, at the Glastonbury Festival.
It's not very good at all.
Poor David.
Poor David. He's supposed to be having fun.
He'll live.
Who doesn't like